Hello, post-Christmas holiday. I am here. Look at my nails. I had these beautiful fake nails on. I loved them. They looked beautiful. Glamnetics, I think that's what. And, you know, I used my hand so much that the thumbs and the second finger kept popping off because I do art. And so every now and then, maybe for New Year's, I'll put on a nice set. But otherwise, I need the short nails. So this is kind of upside down. What I did was, these are some artist trading cards, and I used molding paste, or in a really cheap resource that begins with the T, I think you know. I just get the acrylic modeling paste. It's the same as the molding paste. And you know, you see so many, I mean, I am a sucker for some of that shimmering molding paste, but you know, all you have to do is add your own paint to a swatch of white molding paste, and you've made the color you want. You can add shimmer. This is a little tip for me. You don't need to buy them already colored. You can buy the white and add any color. Anyway, I used a couple of my favorite stencils. I don't know if you can make the pattern out here. They're moons. Oh, these are upside down from what I wanted them to be. I like, so the top two are made with, this is one of my favorite stencils. Let me see if I make sure it's lined up properly. It says the moon, and it has the phases of the moon in the stencil and some writing that looks like Galileo. I hope you can see this. And those are those two. Let me make sure I'm in the frame. And then these bottom, I just use this stencil. I really enjoy and like the look of handwriting. And this handwriting doesn't really say anything. It's supposed to look like handwriting, but it's, you know, it is like gibberish. So which way does this go? I think like this. So these bottom, I use the molding paste. What you do is you just simply lay the stencil down, get a spatula, get a little bit of molding paste, peep, peep, peep. Carefully move this up and then dry. So this has been drying for 2 days. I wanted to make sure it is very dry. And what I'm going to do, let me make sure my picture is perfect. Let me see, is this right? Okay. I think that's good. I am going to use Lindy's. If you're not familiar with Lindy's, check them out. Lindy's Gang. I actually have a 10% off code in my VanGoghChica blog, that if you buy through my link, you'll get 10% off. I am an affiliate. I really love their powders. They are so versatile. This is this collection called Gypsy Vibes, and I just loved, oh, let me get all the colors. There's a beautiful, what is it called? Flickering Fairy Lights. This looks gray, but when you use it and add water, it's multicolored. There's a rose, which they should just call it passion rose. It is such a deep red. You need very little of this one to get a red. I like this one. It's called Vintage Caravan Caramel. Oh, it's in beautiful chocolate color. Then I love this one too, Gypsy Soul Slate. I often like a grungy look to some of my works, so I like this kind of slate colored. And then they have a really beautiful sage green called Smudge the Sage. So what I'm gonna do is just show you what I like to do. I have this molding paste, and it's been drying for 2 days. These little guys come like this or in other shakers, and then they have this little thing. Be careful, because a little goes a long way. So like, say I'm gonna put a little bit in this corner and a little bit in this corner. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a little others, and then you'll see once we add water what happens. Let me make sure I'm still lined up with you guys. So I have the sage, and I think I'm gonna go with a little slate on these two. The moon reminds me of some dark colors, like when the moon is dark. So this is the slate. Let's see. Okay, usually this comes out a lot. Okay. And then on these down here, I'm gonna use different color. I'll try to use all of them so you can see. here's the red called Rosewood Rouge. I told you you need very little of. So I'm telling you, you need very little of the, like that, like that. And when you see, you're just gonna fall in love with these I think they're called magicals, magical powders. They're so fun. This is one way to use them, to sprinkle them on something. What's coming out? And then add water, or you can add water to it first and then paint with it. I'm going to do now the fairy lights. You'll see, I'm gonna do fairy lights all over this one, I think. Because this really changes colors. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is add some water. I have my little spritzer, you know, Dollar Tree. Okay. This is the fairy lights. Remember, it looks all one color, but it's really, and I'm making a little bit of a mess. But let me, because where I have the modeling paste, it pools and it holds the paint there. Let me clear this up. The modeling paste does hold the paint in that area. So let me get a little bit of water up here. Okay. And this one, I really love I just wanna, you know, I wanna mix up the colors, because when it looks like muddy mess, I guarantee you when it dries, it is gonna be so beautiful. Okay. And then this one, they're all wet. Okay, I'm gonna get this one. It looks like a mess. When it is dry, you are gonna be like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I'm gonna get a little bit of this and paint my, and maybe this one, I don't wanna see the little beads. So I'm gonna mush them in. And now I don't have to see that. That's gonna be a really pretty color. And then this one too, I am going to use water to spread it out, because it does stay pooled inside of the, of where I put the modeling paste. I'm just gonna tap some water in it to activate. The magicals are activated by water. So, when they dry, you will see how beautiful it is. I'm just trying to get rid, I love these colors so much. They're so beautiful. And then, you know, I'm just spreading it around. Okay, it looks a little messy. Yes, it does. This is the fairy lights I told you about. See how it really turns into all sorts of colors. The fairy light. I love it. Okay, and then this one has a lot of, which one was this one? I gotta see what color this was, because I really like that kind of gold. I'm a gold girl. What kind of, like, are you a gold or a silver jewelry person? I am definitely a gold girl. I think it's my Peruvian roots. The Incas made beautiful gold work. When I was a little girl and I would visit Peru, I'm just a little Inca princess. So this is where we're at here. So what we did was modeling paste, stencil, dry, and now we added Lindy's Magicals, and I made a wet mess, and you will see when it's dry how beautiful it is. And I am here after I've let these beautiful little cards dry. They have such vibrant colors, but they run super water reactive. Just a little as shoom. So what I did was after, first I did the Lindy's Magicals and just spritzed water and we moved it around. And then I just kind of added a few little, I wanted some shimmer. I'm a shimmer queen. I love, people always joke that Latinas love bling. I am Latina and I love anything that shimmers. I'm part crow. So I did use my metallic watercolors to just add a little color and shimmer in places. And I kind of like this. I love the purple, how vibrant it is. And I like my little phases of the moon. I used that really inexpensive modeling paste. for that. And then I wanted to show you that what I did was I used matte medium. I just will take that, it's clear, it's matte, and brush a layer over this to make it waterproof. Because I'm gonna do more work, and I often mess a beautiful color arrangement because I forget to make it steadfast. And then later I add another color and it runs, and I'm so sad because, you know, sometimes with art you have wonderful, happy mistakes that make something more beautiful than you intended. You're like, oh, what a great mistake. And then sometimes you work a long time on something, not so much with one card, but like a painting or a journal spread, and you have an accident and yeah, ruins it. But most art that I make, that anybody makes, I believe, all artists, most of our art that we make is not what we like or call good. Just like anything, if you're a gymnast, not every triple gainer is successful. You're going to fall several times. So it's just par for the course when that happens. But where I'm at now, so now these are waterproof. I don't know if you can see that beautiful shimmer the relief that you get when you put a stencil and you put the modeling paste over and it dries, it just holds on to those little valleys of shimmer color. So what I've done is I usually I like to put words, or these started reminding me of kind of witchy metaphysical stuff. And if you're familiar with my page, my blog, you'll know that I have a black cat. Her name is Bimini. Bimmy likes to design things and tell me how to do them. So she has her own line of ACEOs on Etsy and eBay under the name BiminisBoutique. And since I've been working on a, what do you call it? Today is January 2nd, 2026. And I've been working on a spread for a vision board. I think I have done one before. But anyway, one of my things that I want to do is, you know, Bimmy wants to write some more guest spots on my blog. I'm really enjoying that little sojourn. So I think I'm going to add this little black cat, kind of looking at this crystal ball, because the little special gift she likes to do is I read tarot. All the women on my dad's side, I grew up reading tarot cards, and Bimmy reads tarot. So she is going to be giving tarot card interpretations over time for anyone interested. Anyway, so I'm going to put that one there because I kind of like the moon quality, and she's staring into this. And I decided another little, where can I put this? It looks like the purple's coming right out of it. Let's see. Do I want it to look like, that's a little, I hate things smack dab in center. I always like asymmetrical. But it looks like this little, it does look, I think I like it on that side. Oh, I might want to break up the vibrant purple and put it over here. This isn't going to be the end of them. Also, one thing I did that you didn't see, I will distress the edges or add gold. Hold on. Let me get something. So I didn't want a crisp line. I don't know if you can tell they're a little distressed. And I don't know what this is called. This is sold by Jim Holtz. These little things have grooves that have little razor and different depth, and you can distress the edges of your card. And this is really nice if you want it to look a little more vintagey, antique-y, or simply if you want it to hold on to the paint. I'm going to gild some of the edges in gold. So I did do that on all the edges off camera. And I did do the matte medium. Now the only thing left is I kind of off camera did this too. Which one? Oh shoot, did I get this out of line? I think I have these beautiful stickers that are very iridescent. I do believe I'm gonna have a little red sticker. One of my alter ego token, I don't want to say token animal because I'm not, well, I am indigenous, but power animal, gifted animals, whatever you want to call it, is an image I'm working with a lot is the phoenix. The phoenix is a mythological red, flaming red bird, and that bird had the ability to be combusted, burned in a big fiery fire, and when it reached old age or if it was dying, and then out of that ash would emerge a baby bird. And the phoenix never dies. The phoenix rises from the ashes. I kind of, this last 2 years with so many neurosurgeries and I'm disabled and don't walk right now, I can walk with assistance, meaning I use a wheelchair and a walker. I can stand for a couple minutes before I have to lie down or sit down. It's been very sad for me. Anyway, and a lot of pain and a lot of surgeries. Anyway, I've adopted the phoenix rising imagery for my personal emblem because I know I'm gonna rise out of this at some point. Anyway, that's that story. So I have these two beautiful, anyway, I like the fiery feather because it reminds me of the phoenix. And this one, where did I want this one? Yeah, I'm gonna put this one here. And I love this. It looks like a moon, but the colors just go. I just thought these were premier stickers. I get them at Journal Say. They have some of the most beautiful stickers. The only thing is, if anyone has a trick that I just don't know, these that are very flat and they're very beautiful, they are so hard to pick up, even with tweezers. If anybody has an inkling on how I can do that easier, please give it to me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to glue down the paper, stick on those, and then we will come back and I'm going to continue. I want to embellish a little more. I might want some words. I did want to show you, because I talked earlier how the modeling paste, I'll show you. Oh well, I don't know where it is. Never mind. The modeling paste that I showed you was generic. And I told you how you can add color and shimmer. Just take out some of the modeling paste you're going to use and mix it. And you don't have to buy colored paste or shimmered paste. Another really inexpensive tip is to get water-based. You know, Mod Podge is water-based. I love Mod Podge. It's not expensive, but even cheaper are some of these water-based sealers, water-based glue. I buy this very cheap, 2 bottles for like very cheap, and use it as glue. I just use it with this, or I fill it up in a little tube that has the needle nose for glue. So this is a really good, it's like Mod Podge. So it's not going to be super stick if you want to put something on it, but it's perfect for paper. Let me put these on, stick those on, and I will come back when I have a little plan for how else I'm going to embellish my cards. Okay, we're back. Happy New Year, everyone. I have gone on a little journey with these cards, and some really, I think I talked earlier about happy mistakes, and then mistakes. And I've noticed the one beautiful thing that came out of all of these, this particular card, I work with my black cat named Bimini for short. Bimini has her own store. She's starting to write her own posts. She is a mystical cat that reads tarot like I do. And as this developed, I realized that Bimini was guiding me, and this was going to be one of her artworks. She kind of inspires me to create a design that she has in her mind, and then I do it. And this is going to either be kind of an art card that is representative of her work with tarot, selling mystical kind of tarot cards. I'm really happy with it. Let me see if I can get my little brush. The little cat reading a crystal ball is indicative of her mystical side, reading tarot. I love the phases of the moon, black cats, and dark nights go together. I use the Lindy's Lindy's magical powders, and then I covered it with I don't know if you can see this, metallic watercolor. This is from this is from Altenew. Very nice metallic watercolors. They just, like I said, I'm Latina and I love bling. I love shimmer. My tendency is to overdo it. I was really happy I didn't. Now this took me, and I still keep going back. These 3 little embellishments. I love shimmer. I like embellishments. Bimmy loves to wear diamond necklace. She wants one. So she was like, I want those there. And I just have to fight against what I learned in art school. There were so many rules in art school, what real art was like, And I have come to learn as an art historian and a trained art historian and trained artist, there's such an elitist view in the art world of what is real art. And I remember over and over, I had paintings that I would incorporate shimmer, glitter, and my painting teacher, real art, real paintings don't have glitter. That is now craft. If you're a good artist, you don't need to those shortcuts to draw the eye like glitter or shimmer. But you know what? Now as an artist, I'm doing what I like. I mean, how many artists broke rules and did what they wanted, and now we appreciate it. So I did include that, even though I had to fight against my training. And that really also applied with this card, the use of sequins. Again, I really love kind of balance. I like asymmetrical, but yet balanced. So I was very heavy with before I had added this and then some extra color, it was very heavy on the bottom. I did through gold watercolor shimmer with that Altenew palette. I highlighted some of the die cuts I had made. What I'll do is, as an aside, this beautiful fall leaf and this leaf, what I'll do is I'll often paint beautiful papers. And this was very rich, saturated color. And then I'll do a bunch of die cuts, and then I save them. And just when I'm doing cards and stuff, I'm like, I'll look through my die cuts. Is there anything that tickles? So they're already done. I just have a bunch of die cuts that I like on beautiful paper I made. So that was these fall leaves. This was just a regular leaf. And so I put that there. I really like the imagery of like fall is over now, but I don't know, I just really love these cutout leaves. I love trees anyway, trees in nature. I like to paint trees. I love to sit under trees. I just like trees. And so fall leaves are very evocative to me of just a beautiful time growing up in Kentucky, the fall leaves. And here's a botanical leaf. I really love this fancy script that's embossed. And to balance such a heavy presence without this, I just really felt like it was just too bottom right heavy. I don't know. For fun, I added 2 sequins that kind of draw the eye up. Again, that's not real art. Well, you know what? I'm letting myself go. I am really, please tell me in your comments, does that ruin it? Does that cheapen it? The sequins and the little embellishments. Give me your opinion. I would love to hear it because I'm really struggling with wanting to flick them off. This is another card that came out, and I rescued this. I should have showed you before I rescued it. I went crazy with the shimmer. And I came down today when it was dry, and I was doing things last night. I didn't realize in the bright light, you always need good light. When I looked at it, I was like, it was just one solid gold shimmer. And thank God for my trusty matte medium. Matte medium will mattify the surface and seal it. So what did I do? I said, sorry, dropping thing. I dipped my brush in matte medium and I started mattifying areas. And so now this was all gold shimmer, gold shimmer, gold shimmer. It was everywhere. It was just one gold. So now I have highlighted in the gold shimmer and the burgundy shimmer. There's a little bit of iridescence with this feather. I mattified the rest. I have some embossed green, complementary color. I like it. I think it works. It's Make-A-Wish. This is going to be part of, I realize a lot of times things come to me as I'm working on them. And I realize, I think I talked earlier about the Phoenix Rising. Phoenix as one of my images that I'm working with around having really trying to see my disability and all the surgeries and all the physical therapy and struggles I am having to try to be able to walk again. I am really taking the Phoenix rising as a symbol that I'm going to get better, and I will either just make the best of where I'm at or I'll get better and walk. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to rise and live my life fully. So this is going to be part of my Phoenix Rising series. I really decided, oh God, the fire. I really feel like I'm still in the fire, but pretty soon I will rise, the little feather. So that is going to be part of, things can't come to me as I'm working on them. So this is going to be Bimini's kind of artwork. This is going to be part of my Phoenix. Kind of this will be along Bimini's or mine because we both read tarot. And again, I worked with embellishment. I don't know. I have to tell you, I like in everything when I work with, a lot of times I will do a line of glitter or gold paint. And then I originally I had this running all the way across. Oh my gosh. I like to do one line all the way across in my journal of anything. And then another line, like a third. I don't know. I just like that kind of unusual. But this morning I was like, okay, that is way too much glitter. Too much, embellishment, little stars. I peeled this one off. And then I had taken the paint off, and look at this thanks to one of my Christmas gifts that I asked for was a small Fiskar cutter, because mine was so dull and so old. And look at that beautiful, straight, tiny. It really just cut it cleanly. My other one would have shredded if I tried to do something so little. Thank you, Santa, for my gift. That is something I wanted for Christmas. So anyway, I shaved off with my new Fiskar paper cutter. And then I had a glue line. I mattified that with my mat. And I did leave the one little, maybe, I don't know. I think I like it. It works. And the single word look, crystal balls for people, everybody has some psychic abilities. It is just our intuition. Some people are gifted with physical prowess. Some of us are gifted with more psychic abilities. But crystal balls, really, the ball itself is not magic. It is your focus looking. It's just about looking intently and tapping into your own psychic abilities. When you see a crystal ball, the ball is not magic. It's used to help you focus. So anyway, I use the word look. Also with moon, often in psychology, they call it working with the shadow. The moon card in tarot is often feared because it's going into the unknown, into the dark of night. It's working with shadow. And so this card is urging you to look into the dark side, look into a crystal ball, really tap into the dark side of the moon, working with moon energy. And this similarly, I don't know if I'm finished with this one. And I think I might need to put some paint on this because this is such a different color. But again, I really like this, reminded me of moon. They were just circles, but it really looked moon-like to me. And so I used the phrase, use your wings. I cut it out. It was some longer text, but I cut that part out. And my imagery for wings, when I think of wings, I think of angel wings. And I think all of us have the ability to soar above ourselves in our mind and see things as they are. Again, it's an intuitive thing. So this is encouraging you with moon energy to use your wings. and fly into the unknown. I think I'm going to color that a little bit, to paint a little bit over it so it's not such a different color. Let me see, did I talk? So these cards are finished. You saw all the steps. Oh, with the edges, I did distress them. This was another Christmas gift. I use this app called Giftful, Giftful. Giftful is the app. It's free. I love it because, you know, I don't know if you celebrate gift-giving holidays, but I do, especially Christmas. And I used to feel so bad that my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, my friends, my boyfriends, my girlfriends would get me things that really weren't me, and I knew they had spent money, and it would just sit there. And so I saw this Giftful app, and now always on Thanksgiving, so that they could, I do all my Christmas shopping and gift preparations. I am done by December 1. By Black Friday, I am buying what I need. And usually I've made it throughout the year, my gifts. Anyway, I give all my loved ones that usually give me gifts, I always send an email. You do not have to give me anything, but if you're moved to, I invite you to look at my Giftful list for ideas. In the Giftful list, you can actually find an exact item, pin the URL with a photo, and there's suggestions of things you actually want with the URL right there to buy them. And what's really wonderful about the Giftful app is things like this that were not $30, $40. I am able to save my gift givers money because, you know, what I want is this, which is not that expensive. You don't need to get me a $30, $40 perfume set. And then this was on my Giftful list, the Fiskar. Really concrete things I want. So I love it. I got exactly what I want, and I think I saved the money. So anyway, I love how these cards came out. One ended up turning into a card for Bimini, and it will probably be on BiminisBoutique, and I think I'm going to let her write a guest post about this artwork on my blog, VanGoghChica Studio. So keep your eyes out for that. I continued the blue imagery with the moon, psychic looking. I don't know if that'll be for Bimini or me, because I like to read tarot and all. This one is definitely my Phoenix Rising series #1. This deals with moon energy. I am going to darken color that. And this one is just a beautiful card. I don't really have a theme for it. It just developed and it's beautiful. I would love in the comments if you tell me whether you think these little sequins and embellishments cheapen it. I'm just thinking art school, they thought anything glimmery, shimmery, these kind of things were craft and cheapened any artwork. But they call me, and I am an artist. And just like so many artists that broke convention, I'm going to include what I like. What do you think?